right. Hello and welcome, everybody. I hope there's audio. The Beef said there wasn't, but I think he was just a little early. So here we are. It's office hours. It's time for questions, and we have a special guest today. We got Styx, the man in the hat, right over there. Welcome him. This is my boss, Styx. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
I think you did a great job. I'm your boss.
That's right. You nailed it.
I'm here. Right. What's up?
All right. Tell us a little bit. I mean, how'd you get into DFK and what are you doing now?
Oh man, let's see. I got into DFK probably December of 21. So got in at $12, shot up to $20. Thought, man, what a great investment. What an awesome value add. Bought a ton more. And then, the rest was history there.
Boom. The rest is history.
Yeah. Had 10, 12 heroes. And then I don't know when it was, but probably like February when everything got super cheap, just started summoning like crazy. And here I am now with quite a stable of heroes and just still summoning and enjoying what the game has to offer.
So I know you have a pair of Gen Zeros. Did you buy those?
I did not buy those. No, got real lucky during the dark summoning. What was that? That was the second go around of summoning event. Did quite a few summons to get there, but yeah, got really lucky. Actually, that was the regular summoning and the S Jewel or I think it was S Jewel raffle.
Yeah, the S Jewel one. That was a pretty good one. I mean, I was stoked when you won that. Just wanted to highlight for everyone listening that Styx is a real life example of someone who, got a Gen Zero off of playing the game, and he's an inspiration. All right. Yep. So let's recap some 3XP, right? I know you have some questions. I just figured I'd start talking about what went down, and you could just jump in at any point with questions. Does that sound good? All right. Great. So 3XP was Thursday and Friday of last week, June 8th and 9th. It was a really, really fun event. I had to miss Thursday or the actual Thursday event part of it, the conference part, because of a work commitment. And but I did get there just in time to make it to the DFK after party. And that was really where the fun started, from what I hear, is that we got there and it was amazing. I roll up and there's all these people actually holograms of them, these people that I've seen online so many times. There's Starbuck, Mosh, KP, there's Sergeant Filthy McNasty, there's Crypto Grady, baby. And yeah, it was just that was a really good start to it. We were at this bar eating some pizza. The pizza place was giving us shit, not bringing our pizza out, but it was overall good. And that was also the first time I kind of realized how irrelevant some of my opinions are, because I walked up and I met Dreamer and I met Sunbear, and he's like, so tell me about yourself. And I'm like, well, I'm a Styx intern. And I expected some kind of reaction. And it was like deadpan, blank face. Was that even words you just spoke? And so that was funny. But no, I'm kidding around about irrelevant opinions. But it was cool meeting the team. And it was kind of good to know that they don't spend all their time trolling YouTube and watching everything we say. But yeah, so meeting Sunbear was good. Meeting Dreamer was good. Heard Starbuck talking about some really fun plans for the future. DFK Con in the very early works. We got a bit of we talked some numbers on what Vegas would look like and maybe what some other places would look like after hearing some numbers on Vegas. Because that might be a little bit out of reach for the DFK Con 1, but we'll get there. What are your thoughts on DFK Con? Would you actually go to one? I mean, I know you didn't go to 3XP, even though it's right in our backyard.
Yeah. So, I mean, I would love to make it out there. Definitely. I think if they had chosen the Anaheim Convention Center, it would have been much better. I still wouldn't have been able to go. But, yeah, unfortunately had to make my way up to Northern California during the same time. But yeah, I mean, I'd love to meet all the guys. I was super jealous. Intern was shooting me updates, sending me photos, and it's so great to just see all these people in real life. Been talking to Mosh and Beeve and Starbuck for, I mean, gosh, probably well over a year now. I mean, I think we probably connected early 2022. So yeah, I mean, 14 months, 15 months, and they're not too far from us up in Seattle, but you know, it's nice to finally get together. I know you met, you know, that was the second time you met Sargent and KP, I think.
That's correct. Yeah, I met them
I
once
missed
before.
that one as well. So
that was a bit further, you know, and it was also smaller. It was really just like 10 of us hanging out at a bar, which was sweet in its own right. I think I was sitting that night across from Jacques, who is always active on Twitter and YouTube. So it's cool to see those connections going forward though. And yeah, seeing KP and Sargent again was awesome. Yeah, those guys are great. And I think KP mentioned something like it on his stream with Grady, where it's like, you know, you hang out with these people, it feels like you've known each other for a long time, even though you're just meeting some of them for the first time.
I think it helps too when we're in the depths of this bear market to, you know, we do a lot of sharing of our miseries over the interweb, but to you know, to have a chat over a beer at the event in person, I think can't replace that.
Yeah. No, I actually
Zoom is great. Seeing each other face to face on video is nice, but real life FaceTime is, you know, there's nothing like it.
And you know, to that point, I think one of the things that shocked me was like, I don't know, everyone looks so different than they do on Zoom, right?
Yeah.
But like, it's like I clearly recognize you, but it's just like different when you see their actual face in person.
Yeah, I didn't know. You said, I mean, it sounds like Mosh and Starbuck they're tall gentlemen.
I did not anticipate that they would both be like, it was like 6'2". I was thinking like 5'10" to 6 foot range. I mean, I'm probably biased because I'm 5'10", so I kind of just think everyone's right around there. But
I wonder how tall people think I am.
I know I do wonder, especially now that people, I mean, especially given my comment, they probably think you're shorter than you are.
I'm short.
Oh yeah, super short, dude. That's how we got the name Styx, is by being so short and like, you know, what's the word? Stocky.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So when I first got
there, all right. So tell me your timeline. Sounds like you had a late night, both nights, but Thursday night you got there. What time?
Like around. I think I can check the text, but I think I got up there around 7:15, and I think the DFK after party gathering started at like 6:30.
Okay.
So I got there, and then we went from there to the toga party. And because I was dressed in all DFK gear, they were like, "Oh, you don't need a ticket. You're with DFK. You're good," which was funny. That was actually a theme for the whole week, the whole like 2 days, with people thinking I was on the DFK team, even though I was very much not. And I had to explain that to them. But yeah, so Thursday, probably 7:15, we went to the toga party, which went till about a little before midnight. We left, and Dreamer led a squadron that mostly consisted of DFK people, and then a few new friends we picked up at the toga party. And we went, you know, kind of mobbing around Pasadena looking for a taco place. KP and I kind of led people in the wrong direction for a second, and then Zellies, I think it was, Googled another place. We walked right over there. It turned out we had to walk past the toga party again to get to the taco place from where we had been going initially. But yeah, once we got there, we just hung out till about 1 a.m. is when I pieced out, and people like started going out over time. I was sitting across from Grady, who's like coming from Central Time, so it's like 3 a.m. for him. So like he's normally just waking up right at that moment, you know, because. But he was just like zonked. You could see it in his face, like, when's this food gonna get here? But it was so good though. And then
Nelly's, I can't believe you got to meet him. He's what keeps me going, man. I have to give him all the credit. I wouldn't be able to advance my hero levels as I am if it weren't for him.
Yeah, no, Zellies is the true Styx intern, if we're being honest. He's
He's a hardworking intern, that's for damn sure.
Oh yeah, like way more responsive than I am. And way better at fixing stuff. I will add that too. Like every time we had any issue finding anything, Zellies was immediately like, well, asking the question to get to the solution. And it was just, that was a common theme I noticed, and just teasing some of the later content here for all of you watchers. Later on, I'm going to be giving out superlative style awards. I think high school yearbook, most likely to succeed, most likely to blah, blah, blah. So things like that. I've given an award to all the people I can remember spending time with that were at 3XP, and that is something I'll be giving out later. And maybe I mentioned that off of Zellies on purpose. Maybe I didn't. Maybe there's something to watch out for later. But yeah, so that was Thursday till like about 1 a.m. It was funny watching Dreamer lead the charge for tacos. He was literally walking around the toga party. Starbuck and Mosh were the 2 of 5 people at this. I don't know, probably maybe close to 100, between 80 and 100 person at this event. And they're the only ones in actual togas. They pulled an elite veteran move. They called the head of their hotel and said they had some they gave some reason that I can't remember. It had something to do with allergies to like the material and comforters. And they asked for extra sets of sheets. Which I heard that, and I was like,
what was the significance behind the toga party? Was it just?
It was just so there were various groups throwing events like around 3XP, and that's I think generally pretty common for trade conferences in general,
right?
And especially so for crypto. And the toga party was one. I actually don't remember who threw it. It had I think it had an open bar. I obviously wasn't getting toasted because I had to drive an hour after to get home. But I think Sarge, I think some others were taking some full advantage of the amenities offered there. And good call. Speaking of which,
Starbucks says, shout out to Dreamer for hooking us up with tacos.
Oh, that's right. I actually forgot that.
Dreamer paid for the tacos? What a
Dreamer
guy.
bought all of the tacos and everything.
Oh, man.
I forgot about that. Oh, yeah, good call.
That's great.
Oh, Beeve. All right. See, Beeve is in line with where I expected. At least one of them is. But yeah, no, Dreamer really was like, that was cool what he did. He gathered all of us up. He made sure we were all met outside and really coordinated efforts towards the tacos. Like you see him in action, a little tipsy like that, and he's still just, showing the leadership colors, right? And then it's good knowing he's at the helm on DFK, so to speak, in that way.
And so Dreamer is the president of Kingdom Studios.
Right.
So who is Frisky Fox?
I think he's one of the core lead devs. I'm not sure exactly what his role is or position title. And honestly, I don't think it really matters.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone who's in the company was there when they set it up. And it's just I don't know, having seen how corps actually work in LLCs, you can name someone whatever you want. It's just what duties they have that really matter. So I think
that's just an average Styx question right there. And
no, it's good.
There's no dumb questions.
No dumb questions here. No, certainly not. Certainly not.
All right, so you didn't even go to the conference on Thursday. So
right.
Friday,
and I will call out really quick. Starbuck did say the conference was more active on Thursday, and I believe that. People said that while I was there. So I did miss the better conference day.
Okay. But you show up. What time do you show up on Friday?
So Friday, I got in there around 11, maybe a little after, and immediately went and found Mosh and Starbuck at the DFK area and found the DFK area. And it was pretty cool. They had this so Avalanche kind of had this big pavilion, I guess, in the center of the conference where they had a bunch of the different gaming projects that are building on Avalanche. They're showcasing what they've got. And DFK definitely got a significant amount of real estate in that Avalanche showcase area. And there were all these really big panels where they're showing it's like the in-game Serendale stuff where, all the art that we're all familiar with, but it was all huge. And, maybe I should have planned and pulled up some of the pictures that I took, but they're on my phone. So that's going to take a long time and not really be conducive to the live stream, but they looked really cool.
How many booths do you think there were?
So
did you walk around the whole event?
I did, yeah. And I want to say there was probably about 20, not counting anything that was over in the live esports area. So there was a live esport kind of tournament going on with Web3 games. And I've watched esports tournaments before, and I do enjoy them, but I didn't really pay much attention to this one just because I don't know of any Web3 games that I'm super into in that way yet. So I just kind of I didn't really go into it, and I don't know, because Web3 is so early. I feel like the reason I would go to watch an esport is typically to see people play the game mechanically in a way that I would never be able to because I don't have the reflexes, right? Similar to a race car driver, right? Like they can just control the stick better than I can and do cool things because of it. I don't think really Web3 is there yet. So I kind of just ignored that part. But I think there was about 20 booths total, if I had to estimate, maybe a little more, because there was like one random law firm had a table, and some of the places they had, some people had really small ones, like where they just got like basically, if you think if you're at the fair and there's the people with the shop set up in a giant room, and that level of space was what some people had. But Avalanches was definitely the jewel in the middle. It was just the center of the event, had a big ring going around the ceiling of like AVAX logo, and like a big seating area with a giant TV for showing off games, where they had gaming chairs. It was clearly like HyperX, or I think was involved as a sponsor somehow, because right across from the Avalanche area there was the Game of Thrones, the Iron Throne, but instead of swords, it used gaming laptops, like all the chroma keys and the mice. So that was pretty funny, just seeing people took the time to do that.
Nice.
And then, yeah, there were other games. I did sit and I sat and played the demo of another game that I should have the name of right here, actually, in this bag. I got some merch. Orrery. I don't like saying that name out loud. I do like how it reads. But Orrery, yeah, it was pretty fun. They had a team fight kind of tactics game. It wasn't maybe team fight's the wrong way I was saying it, but it was a tactics game where like you're on these blocks and you give your guys commands, and then they go execute the commands, and there's various speed elements to it. But you're kind of, I lost Styx. He's just gone. Oh, there he is.
All right. Oh, yeah, keep going. I got to take a phone call real quick. Sorry.
No worries. So, yeah, there's this tactics game, and it looked like it tied out to a kind of RPG-esque style area where you could walk around and interact with NPCs. I don't know. I enjoyed the tactics game. I'm definitely going to check it out later. And they gave me sweet merch, which I mean, I'm a big fan of merch, as you can tell. Special shout out to Sarge, who secured me. Oh, don't be lame, computer light. Oh yeah, there we go. This bloater pin. Thank you very much, Sarge, for saving that for me from the vultures on day one who took everything. But yeah, boom, Orrery. So I'm going to check them out. But I enjoyed their game a lot. There were other games there that I did check out. None that I actually played. And if I'm being totally honest, I spent most of my time at the DFK booth talking to people who were coming up. And that was really fun too, because, Dreamer and Sunbear were the only two DFK team that were there that I met. I heard that Pieface was also there for a bit, and I didn't get to meet her or talk to her. So sad if I did miss that opportunity, but they didn't have too many people there to talk, with the hordes of persons who were coming up to the booth. And it was really cool seeing people react to the images that they saw of the game. They looked at the heroes and were like, whoa, those are beautiful. And it was all the new animations were on display. And in the middle of the day, Mosh, started up a egg cracking event using the test server. Everything's fake. So Mosh did fire up an egg cracking event at the DFK booth, and that was pretty fun. We ended up burning through all of the tiers that they had on the test server. And we kind of ruined it for everyone. No one could come and hatch after us, but that was pretty fun. Apparently they weren't intending for us to do that, but you put a Mythic Squad member in front of a screen, they're going to hatch an egg. It's just how that works. But yeah, I don't know how much of that you caught. Do you have any other questions about what else was there? I mean, basically that one game Orrery is the one that I tested and demoed. There was other cool stuff there, and there was the one group had a little gambling area set up with the fake casino money, and you could win a prize if you had the most chips at the end of the day. Starbuck coordinated with all of us, and we all went and put all of the chips that you could get on a single number on the roulette table, because if one of us hit, we would win the prize. And if we all played the same round, pretty decent, comparably speaking, chances that one of us hits. And none of us did hit, though. It was a huge rug, as as is typical.
Damn. Well, I want to hear about Friday night as well. Unfortunately, I have to jump early here. I've been called to action, but
understood.
I'm going to have on the summoning front. I will just bring up my most recent rugs. I had a 3 of 3 Legionnaire Dread Knight that I purchased one of your dreads, another one of Ad Lunam's dreads to summon with. And so I had 3 chances at a dread, all rugs. But now I have 2 0 summon subclass dreads. So I have 2 more chances at the dread. And that's coming up next. So I'll be sure to let everyone know how that goes. But I want you to keep talking about Friday night, and then I'm going to have to just listen in.
Oh, yeah, you'll catch it.
When I catch up.
You'll
but I
catch
appreciate
it.
you having me on, and keep it going.
Thank you. No, thanks for joining. It was nice. I liked it.
Absolutely.
Come back next time. Bye, Sticks. All right, let's get him out of here. Gosh. Now I can be the center of the screen again. This is so much better. I don't know why I even did that. Anywho, yeah, I agree with going through the chat while Sticks was doing his sign off. I agree that founder is definitely the word that I should have used. I didn't use it because I was trying to think like present state, like what he does on a day-to-day basis. But I do agree founders are the answer. I should have canned and ready to go on that question. Lettuce and bucket hat game on point. Hell yeah. Sup, dudes. See Sticks tune fed as fucking stuff. Wow. Ooh. Brutal rugs. Had to hear. All right. Cool. I mean, I can't read all of these. It was too much. Oh yeah. Oh. Okay. Enough of that. Anyway, so Friday, the last thing really on Friday was the, aside from what Starbuck just mentioned there on screen that I had, is the FaZe Clan after party, which was the kind of the culmination of 3XP. It was a more exclusive kind of event for attendees because you had to like get an email approving your registration, and they kind of sent those out. It sounded like a few hours before the event began. And so it was kind of touch and go there for a little bit. And I do have another story on that point specifically, but I'm doing it later in the show because it coincides with other things I'm going to present. Excuse me. All right. But yeah, so we went to the FaZe Clan after party. It was really cool. They had another open bar kind of situation, or maybe I don't remember paying for anything. Yeah. And they had pizza and these just so delightful cannolis. Like the pizza was made by a food truck that had like this stone oven, just boom, right there outside. We saw them cooking the pizza, bringing it right in. And then these cannoli. They were, I sat there with Sunbear and Dreamer, and Sunbear was having pizza. Dreamer was getting pizza, and I just had cannoli. I only ate them. I had, double digits of them. I am not a thin person. I don't care. It was delightful and delicious, and my taste buds will thank me forever for that cannoli. They also had a lot of fun activities there. Mosh was tearing it up on the basketball court. He was playing against these 2 people we'd met earlier in the day, ended up tackling one of them, just boom, into the wall, takes her down. Yeah, think on that for a second. Takes her down into the wall, and I'm saying it was awesome. She did not care. She was like, yeah, and it was great. And then Starbuck was riding around with Stash, who is this like crypto influencer that I met while I was there. I didn't really know who he was before, but that dude's pretty fun to hang out with in person. Really great energy. And so he and Starbuck were rolling around on go-karts. I got a fun video of that. And then we spent a lot of time just kicking it. All of us, Zellies, me, Grady, Starbuck, and Mosh, and KP. We were all just kicking it with Dreamer and Sunbear. Got a lot of really fun pictures with the whole squad with this little background that they had set up. And just, learned so much from just having the hours and hours of access to not only the DFK team, but all the different builders who were there just looking for someone to talk to. And it was really fun. You get out there, you meet people, you engage with them. And that's, I think that's really working the bear market to its best, is meeting all the people and getting all of the, making an impression on them when there's less people trying to makes a bigger impression. Right. And that's why I was really excited to start going to events here in the bear market. And I'm going to permissionless in September. So that's 3 months from now. I'll be at another one, and I'll report back to you guys from that. as far as alpha goes, I'm not really going to say anything that I learned because Grady covered it all on his stream, and I don't remember as much as he did. So like he would just be a better source on that. So I'd highly recommend going and watching his Monday stream with Christian Peter. They talked about a bunch of stuff that was really good that they chatted with the team about. And yeah, so I am going to move on though to 3XP's Interns Awards. All right. Now I need to open my list because I don't want to get any of this wrong. It's very important. But basically, it's a very common thing in one of my longest running groups of friends that I have is to after big events, some of the people get together and they assign superlative awards. And so just because I think this one's easy, I'll lead with it. This is the most passionate award. This award goes to the person who brought the most energy, brings the most energy day after day, does it for the team, puts the team before himself. And that person is Crypto Grady, baby. Yeah. And, he's the most passionate. He wasn't even, the times that we weren't there overlapped poorly. So he and I didn't get to hang out during the conference on Friday because he was out doing things on his own with Jet, which was crazy cool to hear about what he was doing. It sounded like he was just getting front row seats to the life of one of the biggest movers and shakers in the world. And that was really cool. But he still brought it back and came back after that, energetic for DFK after like a whole day of being on, right? Of being just like, around someone who I feel like, I don't know their relationship, but around someone who you're worried about making the wrong impression at some point during the day, right? Saying something really dumb that they don't want to hang out with you or come back and hang out with you again. And he still did that and then came and brought energy all the way for the night party at FaZe Clan. So Grady is the most passionate. Thank you, Crypto Grady. All right. Next, I got the most generous award. This is someone who, just will go out of their way to help out a friend, even if it is extremely inconvenient for them. And, this one goes to Christian Peter. Whether it's a bloater at the convention that he's trying to hand out, he brought some bloaters in, was giving them out to all the people, whether it's one of those or a ride to Hollywood from Pasadena at 1 a.m, KP's got your back. And that was just really impressive. We were hanging out, me, KP, and Eric David Tippett. We were walking back to the cars and KP was just like, I am Spartacus. I will give you a ride. So he gets the most generous award. And Eric David Tippett gets most likely to ask for a ride to Hollywood at 1 a.m. award because, man, I would not have the stones to do that at all. Honestly, I was impressed just by the ask. To Mythic Squad founder Starbuck, this one is a personal one for me. Starbuck gets the VIP award. He's the very influential person. And that is because he demonstrated an innate instinct for working the system, getting past bouncers and ticket checkers, and getting his homies into the party. And what do I mean by that? I'm saying that I was not one of the people who received an approved email at 6 p.m. on the night of the FaZe Clan after party. And I was like, well, shit, if they're enforcing this pretty hard, I'm probably going to have to, just head home at whatever time it was, like 6:30. Might as well, right? If I can't do anything up here. So we get to the ticket area. We just, because might as well check and see if it's going to be difficult. And Starbuck goes, he gets his wristband. And then he, as we're standing there, he and Mosh have their wristbands. Grady has his wristband and other people in line. And he just is like, takes a picture of his QR code, sends it to me, hands me his ID. Now, mind you, if you've seen the Mythic Squad stream, you'll know that I don't exactly look like Starbuck, which is a compliment to him. And so I just walk up there. I'm holding this ID. I got the ticket picture on my phone screen. And the guy checking tickets just looks at it, looks at the ID a little longer. Justin Starbuck. Shit, I shouldn't have done that. I'm sorry, Starbuck. Anyway, says the name, and I'm like, yeah, I guess that's me. Boom, I got into the party, and we're good to go. So yeah, Starbuck, the VIP award. The next one is also to a Mythic Squad legend. The master of eggs himself, Mosh, he gets most likely to lose his toga, aka the nudist award. So not only did Mosh have to, get help from Starbuck to tie his toga, he also had it basically fallen off on the dance floor at the toga party. It was all over the place, sheets everywhere, eyes averted, people screaming. I think I heard a baby crying, even though it was a bar. And I heard that he ended up sleeping in his toga with it tied in some like sailor knot in his back, just and it just almost cut off his air. Everything about it was great. If you want more detail, ask Mosh. But yeah, nudist award, most likely to lose his toga. Boom. All right. To Sergeant Filthy McNasty, I gave the Atlas Award. So most likely to put the team on his back. Not only did he drive all of the merch from the event to 3XP, which was extremely long, probably added a bunch of money to his gas bill. He also helped bring it in, even though he has a back injury, is what he said. And he also like I said, he saved me this bloater pin, and he, everything he did was trying to put the team on his back. So he gets the Atlas Award. Oh, and not only what he did at the event, I forgot to mention, he also did a lot of work, and also shout out to KP as well on this one, working with the 3XP team in advance to really make sure that, they knew we were coming in force, and they wanted to work with us because of the efforts of KP and Sergeant. And so both of you, and so that was part of why I gave Sergeant this one. But yeah, shout out to both of you for that work as well. So the next two, there's two more superlative awards. The next two are special ones, right? So the first one is the Styx Intern Award, and this goes to the person who, just made the straw. Oh, no, wait, I did skip one. Sorry, before that award, Brown Gent gets the most likely to use Hermes gaming accessories, because he's the only person that I've heard of who ever wanted to go shopping at Rodeo Drive, who wasn't a blonde trust fund baby. Only person, but I respect it, and so that's why I give him this award. Most likely to use Hermes gaming accessories. If I could, I would use Hermes. Like, dang, you know how cool that would be? How big of a flex that would be? No, I can't do that. I can't flex even. So why would I be able to do that? Anyway, back to the Styx Intern Award. This one goes to It Tolls for Thee, because he was the first person to recognize me when I showed up at the DFK after party, and I saw visible confusion from others. I took down names, and so yeah, It Tolls for Thee. You really, you struck me in the most important place possible, and that's my ego, because you recognize me, and I know you watch the YouTube. You don't just follow the Twitter for the memes, because what my face looks like decently well. And so yeah, appreciate you calling it out, saying hi to me, walking right up, telling me your name, and you get the Styx Intern Award. And the last award is the MVP, Most Valuable Player. That goes to Zellies. So whether it was gorgeous women whether the gorgeous women talking to him were attracted to the sensuous tone of his voice or his deep understanding of technology and the issues of blockchain, I don't know the answer. I don't know which one drew them more, but all I know is that everyone wanted to talk to Z, and Z always had something great to say. And not only did he have good things, to say generally, he had good things to say about DFK and about the people, that were there. And he really, it was great meeting him, because he is just something else in person. The way he responds to questions, the way he just, the way you can tell by the things he says that he's trying to think of a solution to your problem before you even know you have a problem. And it's crazy to see someone like that. And he also was, took care of the flyers, not only bringing them, but he also encouraged everyone there to hand them out and grab a stack, pass these out. He was on it. And that's really impressive. So, yeah, I even saw him direct someone away from the flyer he made for the DFKH AI product to instead check out DFK's flyers and the pamphlet that they brought and the QR codes there. So yeah, huge shout out to Zellies. Zellies, you win this giant bottle of champagne balloon that I have. You don't have to claim it, but in spirit, you've won it. That's yours, and that's why it's here today. It's for you. Now, rating my interactions with the team on a scale of 0 to 10 bloaters in true bowl-on fashion. So, first, I'm going to start with Sun Bear. Words cannot express the action-packed journey of getting to know Sun Bear. As I stated earlier, Thursday night, DFK meetup, I introduce myself. He gets a blank stare, or he gives a blank stare. I'm like, that stings a little bit, but it's not that bad. It's like when one of my guinea pigs steps on me. It hurts a little bit with their claws, but it's not bad. And then I introduced myself as Styck's intern. No, nothing. So that was pretty gut check, right? But then fast forward to Friday after Dreamer's speech, not speech, it was a panel where he was on, which, by the way, Dreamer was on this panel, and there was this one dude on the panel who just made everyone else there look like light years better by comparison because he was so bad. But not that Dreamer needs that. It was just shocking to hear some of the things this guy said, this other guy. Anyway, but after Dreamer's panel, Grady wasn't there Friday, right? Because he was out doing whatever. But we had to bring the energy. So I shouted, right? I was like, yeah, baby. Whoa. DeFi Kingdoms, baby, right? Those kinds of things. And afterwards, Sunbear comes up to me and he says, you do Grady better than Grady. And now I've heard compliments. I've never heard one like that, though. So I really liked it. That made me feel good. And then, yeah, just as I mentioned also earlier, chatted up with Cannoli. Sunbear's a good dude. He gets 10 out of 10 bloaters. Boom. Now on to the top dog Dreamer. Now this one sounds a bit surprising, probably to some. I really like tacos, as I mentioned earlier. He's truly a miracle worker in that moment for most of the people there, I could tell. But yeah, he still doesn't follow me on Twitter, even after the event, even after I told him that in person. Mano a mano, face to face. So for that, he loses half a bloater, and he is at 9.5 out of 10 bloaters. I did really like his panel and his answers on the panel. They're all very much community-focused answers, and they demonstrated a thought process that was like, I'm not just here to make money, or I'm not just marketing because I want people to spend money on this game and not get anything from it. I want to market something that people want to have. Right. And that's one of the things that drove me out of my old sales job was I felt like I was marketing something that people didn't really want to have. Right. And I didn't like doing that. And so it really makes me feel good about, Dreamer saying those things. I highly recommend you go to the Mythic Squad YouTube channel and check out the recording. Starbuck streamed it live, so it's under their live section. And you can check it out there, everything he said. And maybe you'll hear Crypto Grady in the background, even though he wasn't there. All right. So I think that covers mostly what I had for 3XP. Yeah, I think so. So I hope you all enjoyed it. I'm going to run through the chat maybe later. Chat's been pretty active. I'm having a hard time keeping up, but I do like it though, But I also have some strong opinions. So there's been, one of the reasons I started this show was I wanted to call people out when they say stuff that I think is incorrect. And the I think is very important because I don't know if I'm necessarily correct, but I'm willing to argue about it. And there's been some things said recently about Bogside Chats. And Bogside Chats is a pretty good podcast, but I've got some Bogside Smack to talk now. So first off, Franz's obsession with, and Maddie's, both of them, and probably Wowie's too, based on what I've heard Maddie say, with the support versus healing question is just like silly because, all right, first off, there is hardly a game that I've ever played that had any depth of to the characters where the team's designation of a hero as a support versus a healer versus a tank versus a melee damage, right? The team's designation is hardly ever 100% correct. So even if what they're saying is intended to be a limitation on their end, like, okay, whatever, who cares? It's going to matter way more once we get into the game and start playing it. Second of all, support versus healing. I mean, Franz, dude, your obsession with this idea that I can't think of a more quintessential way to support someone than by healing them. How about if you prevent the damage from happening in the first place? How about if you stop them from doing damage? Right? I mean, so like tanking is also support under that logic. So I think really what you're not getting about the situation is that you've also complained that support is too broad, but it's not about. It's less about what the hero is what the hero can do on a theoretical level or what abilities it has, and more about what role it fills in the team. And yes, those first two things impact the second. I'm not going to say they don't, but like if I'm classifying something as a healer, it's not because it has the ability to cast a heal, whether it's on a teammate or itself. That is not the reasoning. The reasoning is whether I can put it into a team and expect it to competently fill that role compared to the other heroes in the game. And so, yes, I think some supports, what they've labeled supports now, will be able to do that. They will be able to just slot in as a healer. That's probably likely. I think some of the things they've labeled as supports might be able to slot in as a tank, because this isn't a positional game where you're moving a character around. This is a turn-based kind of card game with abilities. The concept of a tank is very different. So I think, the one thing that they harped on about in yesterday's episode was the fact that Dragoons aren't labeled a tank. Well, I bet you they haven't even come close to finishing off that elite class ability set. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Workhorse has got it all done. But like, I think they might have one path done of 3, and the rest are still being worked out. So Dragoon and Dread Knight and Sage, I'd take all of those with a grain of salt, and Spellbow. And second off, I think really what's going to define a tank character in a game like DeFi Kingdoms, where it's not a positional game, really, like it's not like I can move my character in between the enemy and you and take a hit for you, which is what you do in League of Legends, Here's the Storm, stuff like that. It's really going to be a taunt. A taunt ability is what's going to define things that can be a tank, because if you don't have a way to redirect damage from your teammates to you, or prevent or mitigate that in some way, then you can't be a tank in this game. You can't take damage for other people if you don't have that ability. It's just going to be that's just a fact. I don't even see an argument against that. And so I think that's going to be the ability that defines whether something gets a tank label from the team. All right. Yeah. Covered all that. All right. That was my primary Bogside Smack. I do have some other things here, though. I think Franz and Maddie you're both right and wrong on the debate of whether to list things at the price of like $199 versus $200. First off, Maddie, you're wrong in saying that like the reason that people do that in the first place is for the search function, because I can search 1 to 200 or less than 200 and it'll show up. No, that practice derives from shopping in a real life store where you're not searching from something on a list. So let's just ignore that rationale completely, because it is so clearly wrong. The rationale for supporting that is purely psychological. Your brain, when it sees a 1 versus a 2, even though it knows that there's a 99 after that 1, making it effectively a 2, your brain still is like, that's a 1. And you can't beat your brain. It's programmed, and that's one of the biggest basic things is like the 1 is going to look less than the 2, and you really can't get around that. Franz also made some comment about how the new animations look chunky, as if our heroes have gone on the Styx intern diet while they are living through the bear market. And the reason for that is because, before we kind of had heroes where their armor was their body. And that's always kind of bugged me a little bit, where it's like, there isn't a body under there. That hero would be the size of this champagne cork right here. It'd be thin as a stick. It would literally be sticks. It would be sticks. Every hero was sticks. And so I was like, that's so silly. But when you add a plate or leather armor on top of a hero, it adds girth. And so I think they look more realistic because they account for that armor. And yes, and though it does make them, I agree, look chunkier, I don't think it's the heroes that look chunky. I think it's the armor, the fact that the armor is now sitting on top of the hero's body rather than inside of it, that makes them look chunky. I had a really mean one here. I'm not going to say that. I can't believe I wrote that. Jesus. Past me is so mean. Wow. Yeah, all right. I thought I had a lot more Bogside Smack to talk, but that's about it. I mean, I did. I'm kind of just self-censoring a bit right now. Yeah, I'm gonna self-censor. I'm not gonna do it. Those are the main things I had to talk about on the DFK front. Really excited for 3XP. Really excited for what lies ahead in the next couple months. I wish there were some way to get more eyeballs on the game, because it's very clear, being at the event, that you show people the game and they are interested. They like the art and they like everything about it. Everything you tell them, they're like, whoa, that's amazing. And so I've never been more convinced of the fact that in order to drive interest to this game, the biggest thing we're going to need is a way to get people's eyeballs on the game. And I'm not saying that's easy. I'm not saying like marketing, whoa, that's what I'm trying. That's not the point I'm trying to make. I'm just saying, like, I'm very excited for when, grassroots marketing builds up and maybe team gets funding and marketing builds up. There's a way, however it happens slowly, organically. I'm very excited because it's just, the more I see other people seeing the game for the first time, they are interested and they like it. And it has some kind of just innate appeal in the art. And the new animations, people were like mind blown by the tentacles at the thing. It was really cool. On that point, totally unrelated to that point, I should say, I'm really excited for the Hourglass Weight community. Really excited because their product is Next Crypto Gem. And I'm really excited to watch that show with my wife, because she is going to learn a thing or two about crypto. I heard just like small tidbits here and there about like just the direction they're planning and like how they're targeting it towards non-crypto people, and everything just sounds so funny. I can't wait to see it at all. Very excited for it. And yeah, man, I'm also excited for the Hourglass Weight community too. Like, they're doing crazy things over there. The incubator they got firing up seems like something that'll be definitely like a thing I'm going to watch very closely, especially as we approach bull market, when people are coming in and just like looking for well-marketed products. I'm not trying to diss anything that they're making. I'm just saying they have like a really solid marketing team on them. And that helps. That helps a lot. And, knowing that they're from Los Angeles, making this movie, and putting these efforts in Hollywood instead of, Vancouver. No shit on Vancouver. I like watching your TV shows. It's just, Hollywood carries a bit of weight, and I think it'll carry a bit of weight with the people who we want to carry these shows into people's eyes. And I really am excited for what it's going to do for the crypto space in general, because I don't think I can't understate how good of an idea I think Jet's idea is to just make a game show. People are going to care about one of the teams. At least they're going to hate some. They're going to like at least one of them, right? So that's what people who watch reality shows do. That's how your brain works. You root for someone. It's an instinct. And reality shows are kind of set up to drive that feeling in a way, and it's a psychological effect where like you get people are now in this place where they've rooted for a crypto project, right? They've felt positively towards one. And it's crazy how getting over that first initial psychological barrier is often the hardest thing to kind of make people more receptive to everything else you're talking about. And excuse me, I think that's going to be a really good, show, just to like, hey, check out this show. And if you want to learn about crypto, check this out first, and then let me know if you still do. And if, some people won't, some people will. Now, I just think it's a really good idea in general. So, shouts out to Jet, who I know doesn't watch this show because he's got more important things to do with his time, and everyone else working on that. Also, I'm really excited for my Sand Sound that I mentioned 2 weeks ago. They are going to be here Monday. So I will be reviewing those hopefully next week. I do have trial again next week, though. So I might not be showing Wednesday. We'll see. I might be able to. I might not. But that's what I'm going to try to do Wednesday. And then, on the topic of law stuff, I know it's been a crazy week in the crypto space in general. Or not this week, but last week during when I didn't have a show because of the trial and because of 3XP and all this other stuff was going on. SEC also came out with these lawsuits against Coinbase and Binance, and it's like, oh, dang. I mean, I will not express my opinion on either of them, even though I would like to, because I can't for reasons. But very interested to see what happens with those. And I don't think it's the end of the world for crypto. I don't think it's the end of the world for crypto in the USA. I think, in some respects, one of the cases has some merit. And I think in some respects, the SEC is overreaching as a regulator. I'm also biased to say that, though. I'm someone who challenges regulations for a living. So I'm biased. And maybe my opinion is not correct. So don't take it as anything. It's not intended to be any sort of legal advice. If you want a lawyer, you should talk to a lawyer and get into a contract. That's my spiel there. But yeah, I really wish I could talk to you about that. If anyone wants to talk to me offline, I'd feel more comfortable there. So, but it is big, and markets hate uncertainty above all. And so here's one thing. I know the crypto market's kind of shat the bed today, but last week after the announcement, it wasn't like that bad, right? And so I kind of felt for a little bit that maybe the market is like not like happy, but responding to the fact maybe it's not going down so much because people are at least finally, it's clear what Gary Gensler's position is. There's no more of this come in and register BS. There's no more of that. It's all just, yeah, we want it gone. And if that's your position, you're going to, in my opinion, drive people into a defensive posture. And I know Americans are like all about freedom, and it's kind of like an anti-freedom thing to just say, no, we don't want you to do magic internet money, so you don't get to. Haha, government said. Anyway, the last take that I really want to end with is scrolling across the bottom here. And it's that the bazaar is much more than a cool idea or a nifty pre-gameplay feature. And I think a lot more of you would realize that if you thought about it, really, because I know people are excited for crafting, partly because you'll be able to sell equipment. I know people are excited about using equipment in combat and optimizing equipment. Without a thing like the bazaar, trading equipment is extremely untenable. Like, are you going to do a liquidity pool for your unique, chest plate of the wild there that has a 48% bonus instead of a 47% bonus? No. How are we going to do it in any other way aside from an order book system? Maybe we could have something where it's like the heroes, right? Okay, so we then would have like a single thing for each class of equipment. No, like the bazaar is a necessary. I think people just kind of assume that like a way to exchange things will be easy, but without the bazaar, the crafting system is effectively meaningless. And you could totally have equipment and skeleton gameplay before a marketplace. Yeah, but I mean, I know you can, but we do have that. We have equipment and skeleton gameplay. We have pets and we have the combat testing ground. So that's what we have, literally. So yeah, I just think like if you don't have an auction house style system, a bazaar type system, you can't. It's much harder for them to even be able to put different little small variances on things because of the changes. Like those variances will like ruin it. They'd have to have some way to display them, and I don't know. I just think it would not work well if they did it like the hero and pets marketplace. And That's a fair take. That's a fair take. But I didn't say it was gameplay. I said it was skeleton gameplay. Like the tavern. No, if you do it like the tavern, though, what I'm saying is that would be really cumbersome. Do you have like a different page for each different type of armor? Are you going to navigate that stuff? And I can hear the complaints already about, oh, I can't find this. Oh, I listed a chest piece when I meant to list this leg. If you don't have like the simple interface to do it, it's going to be a bigger mess than it's worth. And so the bazaar. Yeah, they do it with pets, and look, like it's a fucking mess. It's awful, in my opinion. It is awful that the trying to buy pets is so terrible. No, I'm not getting you wrong. I'm just, I've heard. I should have mentioned this in the Bogside Smack section. So wait, let's change the banner back, because those guys, that's like. Franz especially is so dismissive of it, and it's like, dude, this is a necessary and important feature. Oh, and on top of that, it's gonna be crazy cool in DeFi for other things that are not DFK. And the fact that they're doing both at once is thrilling, because it's like, that's outside of the reason why it matters for gameplay, but I just think it's really thrilling to have them do such technological achievements. I want the RPG part, though. Yeah, but you have your skill trees available, so you have a skeleton version. That's all I was saying. All I was saying. And I agree, the RPG combat part is what we're all dying before. But if I get sweet loot and I want to go sell it, I can't do that. It would make the feeling of getting sweet loot just like, I would just have more expectation that way. So, I mean, I know this is a niche opinion in this field, and I'm not trying to die on a hill here. I just thought this was good content to express my feelings on why I think the bazaar is more important than people think from the gameplay aspects. But if you put me to a poll and ask which I would rather have tomorrow, like full-fledged PvP combat or the bazaar, I'd say the combat. Don't get me wrong. It's just, I don't think releasing it, like, people are like, oh, I wish they wouldn't work on this instead of the other stuff. And I'm like, it's kind of necessary. But WoW had an auction house order book at the same time. Like, even in vanilla. Yeah, see, this is the one that gets me. Is like all these people talking about, I mean, crafting's probably further down the road, but crafting's no fun if you can't offload your items. Like Moonlighter, Dungeon Crawl, Indie Setup Gaming. I mean, I would be into all of these ideas. Don't get me wrong on that. Don't get me wrong on any of that. It wasn't refined. I mean, yeah, it certainly wasn't. It was much better later. Yeah. I think we're more in agreement than disagreement. I just wanted to be dramatic because it's a stream. And, that's how I generate clicks. And on that note, thank you all for sticking around to the end of the stream, especially my YouTube viewers who come in later. Oh, I'm sorry, Dags. You can keep talking. Now that I know, I won't be such a dick about it. It's just my natural instinct. I assume everyone's fighting with me. Like, why is this guy laughing at me? So mean, Beeve. I hate you. Anyway, I am going to close out with something that I'm working on, which is, I forgot to even add it. There's no way I can do it. Oh, I am so dumb. I meant to do it at the beginning. Let me see if it uploads quickly. Because, so what I'm doing is I'm working on this visualizer software. And maybe I could just share screen with it. Oh, it's too large for me to even upload. Okay. All right. So I have to present it this way anyway. All right. This is good. This is good to know. This one, bada bing. All right. So I'm going to close out here. I've been working on a visualizer program, trying to make stuff for my music. It's pretty cool, I think. But yeah, let me present. Share screen. Give me the thing. Oh, yeah, this one. there. Media player share. All right. And then let's remove me. I'll leave myself there and play it a little bit. Just make sure it works. Yeah. Cool looking, huh? I think it's cool. It's pretty fun to play with. Thank you for making a comment. Every day there is a new problem. No sound, huh? Oh my God. Duh. Every day. Well, thanks for sticking around anyway. Talk to you later. I'll figure this out for next time. Bye.